All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening for a very quick, a little bit of a how to apply workshop. We are focused on Arts Connect Neighbors, which is a new program of the Roanoke Arts Commission. We are doing this in partnership with our friends at the Roanoke Cultural Endowment. Additionally, that is funded by the National Endowment for the Arts, and we consider them a great, solid partner. And they're really helping us think through, how we're doing things a little differently in the community and working with more and more of the community, more and more artists, a broader group of arts organizations. And we're really pleased about that. You can see the logos at the top of the screen, and I do want to point out that it is the 40th anniversary of the Roanoke Arts Commission. And our tagline this year is celebrating 40 years of progress, art, and fun. So we are advancing the community, advancing community goals. We are centering it on art, and we're having a lot of fun while we're doing it. And we think all of that is important. So it's a little bit of kind of guidelines of how we operate. And this year, we just finished the Year of the Artist, and we've got a big book full of outcomes and things that have happened with the Year of the Artist. We funded 84 different artists through the Year of the Artist. We said that we were going to do that as a way really to change the way we're doing things. So it's a year, but it was concentrated, and it helped us kind of think through things, experiment a bit, and build a learning community. And as we're building that learning community, part of that means we don't have all the answers. We're learning together and exploring answers. And so all the programs that we did last year, a lot of questions around neighborhoods came up. How do we help neighborhoods work better together? How do we make them stronger or help them? And I'm gonna mute some folks if I hear a little background noise. Okay. How do we help them become stronger? How do we use the arts to do it? We had the pandemic, and we're just coming out of the pandemic still. We've trained ourselves in different ways around participation. Participation in neighborhood groups is a little bit different than it used to be. So we are asking those questions, like how can the arts help us have stronger neighborhoods? And I'm not doing this on my own. I want to introduce Helen Dean. Helen, if you want to wave to folks. Helen's one of our Arts Commission members. I think Charlene Graves might be on as well. She's another Roanoke Arts Commission member. Corey is a kind of a staff member as an artist in residence. We've also got on the phone or on the call Katie Trazo. She's another artist in residence, and Joy Truskowski. I'm not sure if Kaisha is here or not, Kaisha Preston. And then Antonio Stovall are also funded under this grant as artist in residence. And so, you see me a lot, but it's not me doing this, certainly, in any stretch of the imagination on my own. And I also, what'd you say?
John's here.
Oh yeah, John Cornthwaite is here, and he is the chair of the placemaking committee. Additionally, I saw that Shalene Powell, our partner at the Roanoke Cultural Endowment, has popped on. So there are a lot of folks working behind the scenes to make this happen. And like I said, we're all kind of learning together. So I want to run through the program a little bit and just tell you how we think it's going to work, or how we right now, how we think it's going to work. And many of you have seen the call out that we are asking 50 artists and arts organizations to develop engagements that can help a neighborhood be stronger. And these can be almost any kind of arts engagement that you can think of. It could be a workshop, a performance, a hands-on craft making session. We met a jewelry maker the other day, DeHanza, and we said, oh, you know what? I can imagine you doing a workshop where you bring the supplies and you teach neighbors how to make jewelry or make a bracelet, and then they give the bracelet to a neighbor. something very simple like that can connect us in really interesting ways. And the artists, we think, are the best ones to help us think about all the different ways that projects like this, that the arts can work. So if you've studied performance and you've been on stage and you are very thoughtful about how presence helps people even stand up at a public meeting, think about the potential of that. So if you get folks doing a little workshop in their neighborhood where they're putting on a small play, how might that translate to even a stronger community? Plus, we get in there, we have a lot of fun, and we laugh together, and that really helps us build bonds. So we're going to pay 50 artists and arts organizations to create these. We are right now asking for very, very brief proposals, and I'll walk through that proposal sheet for us in just a minute. But we're asking for very brief proposals, and then we're going to select the 50 that we'll pay $500 each to kind of fully flesh out that what that engagement will look like. That's where some of our facilitators and coaches come in, like Katie and Joy, Kaisha, Antonio. They might be helping artists and arts organizations think through this a little bit, helping us review. Additionally, this falls under the placemaking committee of the Roanoke Arts Commission, and John Cornthwaite is the chair of that. So they'll be the ones looking at this with a little panel and saying, okay, who gets selected? Again, it's not just me. I'm not the one making those decisions, but we have community panels set up for everything as we make those decisions. And I can fully imagine that once we get 50 kind of fleshed out ideas, we're going to put them in a catalog. We'll probably have more than 50 even, because we've got some folks who are already working with us who may not be paid to develop ideas, but they're interested in developing the idea. Once the ideas are in a catalog, then we're going to have this really a marketing tool that shows us all the ways the arts can make us a stronger neighborhood or a stronger community. And neighbors can get together, say they get 7 households together, there'll probably be a number attached to it, or 20 people, and they say, okay, here, we want to do a block party, and we're going to pull this together, and we want to do this, and we want to do this, and we want to do this. And they can go through and circle it. And then we'll do a little bit of a matchmaking game where the city will then pay the artist or the arts organization directly to provide that performance or workshop for the neighborhood when they do their block party. Pretty simple in a way, but we haven't seen this done before. We're kind of making it up as we go. So I do want to walk through a little bit some of the tools because people on the call might have already applied, might be applying now. We want to also encourage you to talk to other people about it. Now, I mentioned arts organizations, an artist. You don't have to be a part of an organization. You can be doing this on your own. You can be, an art. And when we say artist, that means anybody who identifies as an artist, someone who's creative, who has a practice of an artistic practice. That could be as a writer. It could be as a quilter. It could be as a painter. So think broadly about that as well. We really want to have a broad definition and very inclusive way that we look at our community. So this September, we've got that call out. They're going to be due on October 10th. That's at midnight on Tuesday, October 10th. And then in October, let's see, then in October, we're going to do the selection process. And really the month of November, maybe early December, we'll be working to get all of that information into that catalog. And we're kind of starting to figure out now what that catalog might look like, kind of look and feel, how we might distribute it. If we might do a postcard that goes out to households, and then have the catalogs available in public libraries where people can pick it up. I know we're going to have a digital catalog of this. So if folks get a postcard in the mail and it has a QR code, they'll be able to go right to the computer and or their phone and look at some of the options, or look at all the options. So we'll have that done late this fall, this winter. So that way, come January, February, neighborhoods can be doing that selection process. So at the same time, we're reaching out and talking to our artists and arts organizations on building the catalog. we've already got to go ahead and be setting the stage for neighborhoods, because it takes a while to get together and to think these things through and to start planning. And the winter months are a terrific time to plan for the spring, of course. Okay, once the weather gets good, we're going to do something fun in our neighborhood. So we're going to be reaching out with our partners also in this program, the Roanoke Neighborhood Advocates. They are kind of the association of neighborhood associations, and they are reaching out to their neighborhoods with us. We're going to be getting around, having conversations at neighborhood meetings and having fun as we do this. I did present to the Old Southwest neighborhood group, and they said, "Oh, wow, you mean we don't have to pay for it? The city will pay for it?" Yeah, the city and the National Endowment for the Arts will pay for these activities in your neighborhood. We do hope that we're going to kind of build the model this year and build a successful model that our partners are going to want to keep investing in. Because we think the next step after getting together and doing a block party, we think neighborhoods might say, okay, well, what's next? Or they might even build in a component of it. Well, what do we want to see in our neighborhood? Well, what are our goals together as a neighborhood? What's the character of our neighborhood? What does it mean to live in this neighborhood? And we think those conversations are really important. And we'll work with the planning department as they start to think through the neighborhood planning process in the coming months and year. And then once neighborhoods kind of say, okay, this is what we're interested in, we're going to spend our money. And we're going to spend it in the spring and in the fall. And then when we run out of money, we're going to say, well, how else can we fund this? Very interestingly, we've got this is part of the public art program, and we think of the public art program as public art and community art. So it can be performance that happens in public spaces. And so there are ways we can use our resources, the city's resources, in addition to applying for additional grant funds for this. We also, we have great partners in the community, including Parks and Recreation, the libraries, even folks like Stormwater, who are interested in getting out in neighborhoods. So we fully anticipate that as we start to demonstrate this, we'll have other partners coming on board and saying, hey, how can we be a part of this? We saw you did this one specific thing. How can we help support that? So there's a lot of room for growth in this, especially if we all dive into it with that sense of kind of inquiry, like what are we learning as we do this? We don't have all the answers, but we have a hunch. We think this is a good idea, and let's dig in and try it out. So I want to show you I'm on the webpage. It's roanokearts.org/neighbors, roanokearts.org/neighbors. Or if you look at the very top, there's a link. One of the very first things you see that on the top band says Arts Connect Neighbors. You can click on that. It brings you to this page. You scroll down, and we've got specific tools for artists and arts organizations. And then we've got specific tools for neighbors. Now, the specific tool for the, you just click on, there's a PDF. There's a form to sign up and say, hey, I'm interested as an artist. I don't have an idea yet, but please keep me in the loop. So we're going to keep these people in the loop. It's just a way to say they're interested and we can follow up. Or you can ask questions and we can follow up that way. And then there's the online application. And down at the neighbors part right now, we have the online interest form saying, I'm a neighborhood, I'm interested, keep me in the loop. And then we have a one-page description. So let me show you these one-page descriptions. They're pretty simple, but they're PDFs. So if you want to share it with anybody in your organization or in your neighborhood, this one's oriented toward the neighbors. So, hey, neighbors, in early 2024, Roanoke neighborhoods will have access to a catalog offering arts activities that you can bring to your neighborhood for free. And then there's a QR code for them to come to the website to get more information. And it says what kind of resources will be available. Those are activity-based workshops, performances, physical art projects, interactive walking tours of your neighborhood. We've got people in the community who love architecture and love history and love storytelling. So what would that look like in your neighborhood if someone were to help you with that? That could be a lot of fun. So lots of ideas, kind of very general ideas. We know that the artists and the arts organizations are going to come up with some really terrific specific ideas that we would never even have dreamt of. And that's why we engage the artist in order to get those kind of creative, innovative strategies. So that's one of the PDFs. The other one's oriented toward artists. And we really do think that, and to arts organizations, and we really think that this is an audience building tool. So if you are, say, a small quartet and you are promoted in the catalog and you play at some neighborhood events, it helps you, first you'll get paid, so it's a revenue stream. But additionally, we think it's good marketing as well. And we want to build audiences. The pandemic was rough on organizations and we're still feeling it. And so we're still trying to get people to come back to performances and feel comfortable. A lot of people train themselves to sit at home in front of a screen. We're doing it right now. But it's a different experience to go into a concert hall and hear the symphony play. So one of the opportunities here is to say, okay, artists and arts organizations, we're basically paying you to do some outreach. You develop something that will give a taste of what you do to the community at the neighborhood level, and then we'll pay you to do it. So we think there's a lot of opportunity that way. And that's what this flyer is really speaking to. Now, if you are an artist and an arts organization, I want to kind of walk through a little bit of what the application looks like. It is very simple at this point, and I want to keep encouraging people by saying how simple it is. It's really just the idea. And once we get the idea and we say, okay, this seems viable, the panel will review it and then come back and say, okay, we're going to offer you $500. All we need from you now are these details. The details that we would need would be things like, a photograph of the performer or something that represents it visually. And then more information about what the outcomes are for the neighborhood, what the cost is going to be, what is needed on the neighborhood side. If it's a performance, what are the conditions that you'd have to perform? Can you do it outside or does it have to be inside? All of those things we can think about later right now. We'll do that kind of in the heart of October. After the 10th, we're going to do a quick review of these and come back and go, okay, now here's the next step. Fill out this form, give us your W-9, and we'll once we get the information, we'll pay you. But the very first step, this is very simple. And it's got the deadline of Tuesday, October 10th in there. But we ask for the email, the name, the organization or business name, if it's different than the name of the person who is submitting this, the address, a phone number. Boy, that's all really simple, right? Now we get a little tougher. Okay, please include a link to your website, your resume or CV, if you've got it, your Instagram site, your Facebook account. Anything that shows us what you do, and you can put multiple things in that short answer. You can put your Facebook and your website, and a link to your resume if you have that linked. Then the working title of your engagement. What are you calling this? And so we ask for your title and then a short description. Then a short description of what is your thinking behind this? How is this based in your artistic practice? A little bit more of your experience that contributes to it. How you're going to be like why is this something that's going to work? Why are you the person to do a concert for the neighborhood? And it could be, that could be very simple. It could be, I have performed at I've performed 43 times at farmers markets in the last year. That's terrific because we know what happens at a farmers market. We know what kind of vibe gets set. And you could also include in that what you want to learn while you're doing it, how this is going to advance you. Maybe I'll even include that prompt in there, or maybe we'll save that for the next time. And then the type of engagement is there a performance, a hands-on workshop, a neighborhood art project, is it education and capacity building? And so it could, who knows, you could see it as all of those. And if you do, you just check all of those boxes. And then the goal of the engagement. And there might be goals we haven't considered, but we'll see if maybe we should put another in there. But we have connect a diverse group of neighbors, build a stronger team, celebrate the neighborhood, foster a healthier neighborhood, strengthen the local economy. It could be a neighborhood that has some small businesses and they're connected into this. Provide lifelong learning opportunities to engage and empower young people. Create a more just and equitable community and improve neighborhood appearance. So those are some of the things that you might be doing. And then we ask you to sign your name below just by typing it. And we want you to know that we're going to pay 50 artists and arts organizations $500. Not all artists or organizations will be selected. We have, you can see on the forum right now that we've got 27 responses in there so far. So we expect that we'll have, if it's like most of our other calls, we'll have more people who are interested than when we have resources to fund. But there is a little bit of a give here because I'll say, and I'll read down below as well. The maximum honorarium is $500, regardless of the number of engagements. So if someone says, I've got 3 ideas, that's fantastic. We will welcome all 3 ideas, but we're only going to pay one honorarium of $500. So it could be that of these 27, 3 of them came from one artist, and that's fine. So that means already we're going to have more than 50 with our budget to pay for 50. And then 2023-24 artists in residence are invited to submit catalog entries. So we've introduced some artists in residence tonight. They've got their own artistic practice. They can come up with suggestions, but they won't be paid because they're already under contract with us to be engaged in this work. We are building a learning community. This is an experiment. There is, like a typo there. There is no guarantee that all entries in the catalog will be selected by a neighborhood. So even if and that's okay. That is a-okay. If we have some entries that are in the catalog and a neighborhood doesn't choose them in the first year, no one should feel bad about that. Because like I said, we're learning. We appreciate everybody kind of coming along with us and learning on this. And that's why in this first year, we're paying that honorarium. In future years, we probably won't have that honorarium to pay for the development, but we will pay for the performance or engagement. Eventually, if a catalog entry is selected for the catalog and one or more neighborhoods selects it, the artist or arts organization will be expected to deliver the content in at least one neighborhood. So we're saying if you're in the catalog, that's kind of a promise that we're going to be delivering this. And we fully expect that if you put in there and you get selected by 3 or 4, that you're probably going to want to do it because, again, it's building audience. You're connecting with neighborhoods that you hadn't connected with before, perhaps. And we think it's going to be really positive. And then you just sign your name, and that says, hey, I understand this. And that's really all we wanted to talk about tonight. And we wanted to record it so people had access to this as well as another tool on the website. But with that, I'm going to stop my share and we'll see if we have any questions that we can answer. Now I can see everybody. And does anybody have any questions?
I've got a question.
Sure, Corey.
I sort of thought about it and maybe I answered it myself because I'm guessing this will be many different locations, and that's what I was wondering is like where would we do something like this? But I thought about it while you were speaking, and it just, am I right in saying
that's a great question. And we expect that if you're in a neighborhood and you're thinking about this and you're talking to an artist, it's probably going to be a little bit of a collaborative conversation where the neighborhood might say, oh, we've got a church that's got a terrific fellowship hall, and we're going to use that space. There's a library, and we can book the community room. What I think there's one that's coming in that is interested in kind of a front porch series, and so things are happening in yards or on private property.
Okay.
You could be in a park, during the good weather. Yeah. So, and that's kind of the fun opportunity for the neighborhoods and the organizations, is to be creative about the spaces that are around them. We know that we've got some urban farms that are in neighborhoods, and those might be good spaces, community gardens. Yeah.
Yeah, even the greenway with those shelters in case the weather's spotty, and I sent it to someone while you were mentioning. I sent the link to. I don't know if you know Katie Works, but she does the Heartworks Company paint night thing. So I thought maybe she would be interested in doing that. So I went ahead and got that out to her.
Great, excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the
Doug, I had a question.
Sure, Katie.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm wondering, so it's arts organizations or artists. Can artists apply as like partners together, or does it need to be an individual artist?
No, it can be artists can partner together, organizations can partner together. It'll be best to have one lead on there. And maybe I was thinking about that. I wasn't sure if it would confuse things to have like primary and secondary and such. But I think the on that space where they describe why they're why this is let me go back to it and answer the exact question. A short description of the artistic practice, including the experience. You can list partners there. Yeah. I just got the 10-minute warning on our free Zoom. So we've got 10 minutes. Any other questions? John, Helen, did I forget? Shalene, what am I forgetting?
I don't think anything. Do you, John?
No, I think you captured it all, Doug.
What I'll probably do is do an FAQ document and get some of those listed here anytime someone asks a question, we answer it, we'll get those added in.
Doug, I think you caught everything. This is Shalene. I'm so sorry my video is not working. I'm carpooling with my son.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure if you were on when I introduced you, Shalene, but thank you, our partner, the Roanoke Cultural Endowment, who's helping make this happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for being on the call and asking some questions. And we know we probably could have recorded this and just put it out there, but it's not very fun without a studio audience. And at least we didn't have a laugh track. So yeah. All right. Well, you've got my contact information. You'll see over the next 2 weeks while we're getting during this period of application, we'll be pushing this out a lot. I'll include probably in the newsletter some of those FAQs if there's anything new coming in. So talk it up with your friends as well. And I'm interested to see those partnerships come through as well, Katie. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot. I'm going to stop recording.
Thank you, Douglas.